In this video, I'll show you how to decode the market using 4 volume profile shapes. Each shape tells you what buyers and sellers are doing, which is exactly the insight that you need to plan your trades and gain an edge. So let's get to it. So those are the 4 main shapes. We have the D-shaped profile, which looks like a capital letter D. Then there's the B-shaped profile, which looks like letter B, the P-shaped profile, which looks like letter P, and then there's the thin profile, which is simply a thin profile. So let me start with the D-shaped profile. Right? This is how it looks. As I was saying, it looks like a capital letter D. The most important place in this profile is the point of control, which is usually somewhere around the middle. And this shape of volume profile is by far the most common one. The reason is that it forms when the market is going sideways, like this. When the market goes sideways, there's usually a D-shaped profile. Markets go sideways in around 70% of the time. Most of the time, the markets go in sideways, and for that reason, the most common profile is the D-shaped profile, right? What it tells us about the market is that the market is balanced. So if you look at this example here, you can spot D-shaped profiles here. Not all of them are perfect shapes of the letter D, but as you can see, they formed in a sideways price action. And they tell us that the market was balanced in this area. Everybody who was trading was sort of content with buying and selling in this area. So that's one thing that the D-shaped profile tells us. And there's also another thing which it can tell us, and that it can point us to an end or pause of the trend. So if you look at this example, the price was going upwards in an uptrend. And then there was a D-shaped profile right here. That means balance. Before that, the price was not really balanced because it was rising, but then buyers and sellers were content about trading in this area. So the market became balanced. That could mean either end of the trend or just a pause of the trend. So that's what the D-shaped profile is telling us. Now let's talk about the P-shaped profile. The P-shaped profile looks like a letter P, which means that it has heavy volumes at the top and low volumes at the bottom. There are 2 ways how it can form. Either like this, if you look at the price action, then this is a strong rejection of lower prices. That means the price is dropping downwards and then shoots upwards again. So it can form like that, or it can form in an uptrend, like this. Okay, you can notice that in both those cases, the volume profile looks like a letter P. And it tells us one thing about the market, and the thing is, buyers are in control, right? So when you see P-shaped profile, then you should read it as buyers taking over. The P-shaped profile can tell us 2 things about the market. First thing is that the market is in an uptrend. As you can see here, we have an uptrend and we have a couple of P-shaped profiles. This one, this one, this one. And the second thing that it can tell us about the market is that it can give us a hint about the end of a downtrend. Check this out. The price was dropping here in this downtrend, and then there was a P-shaped profile. And as I was saying, P-shaped profile means buyers, right? So sellers are pushing the price downwards here, but then we have a sign of buyers. So that means that the downtrend could potentially be over, or there could be just a pause of the downtrend, or it could be over. So those are the 2 things that the P-shaped profile is telling us about the market. By the way, those profiles, those are daily profiles, right? Every day there's a new profile printed automatically on the chart. So we are looking at daily profiles. Now here is one important thing about the P-shaped profile. This is a proper P-shaped profile. When the price closes above 50% of the daily range, that's a proper P-shaped profile. If you look here, then this also sort of looks like a P-shaped profile, but because the price is closing below the 50% range, this is roughly 50% range, it's closing below it, then it's not really a sign of buyers, right? It's not a sign of buyers. So this is not a proper P-shaped profile. Only this one is. Okay? So that's important. Now let's talk about the B-shaped profile. This one will be easy because it's the same as the P-shaped profile, only it is reversed. So the B-shaped profile can form in two ways. Either like this, when the price makes a rejection of higher prices and goes downwards. So that's one case how it can form. Or another scenario is that the price opens here, the price is dropping, and then it creates some volumes in here. So this is also how the B-shaped profile can form. All right, so it's either rejection of higher prices or a downtrend. Now, what the B-shaped profile is telling us about the market? Two things. Either that there's a downtrend. Check this out. B-shaped profile, B-shaped profile, B-shaped profile. That's one thing. Or an end of an uptrend. Here's an uptrend. Price is rising. But at the end, we have a B-shaped profile. B-shaped profile means sellers, right? Sellers jumped in here, and that means that the uptrend is probably over. So B-shaped profile is either a downtrend or end of an uptrend. Now here is the important thing about the B-shaped profile. This is a proper B-shaped profile when the price closes below 50% of the daily range. So that means the B-shaped profile got formed in a downtrend. But if you look here, this also looks like a letter B, but this is not a B-shaped profile because the price closed above that 50% range because the price went up. So this is not a proper B-shaped profile. Only this one is. Now, what remains is the last one, and that's the thin profile. Thin profile signifies one thing, and that's a strong trend, very often caused by strong macro news, or at least initiated by strong macro news. It usually doesn't have one huge heavy volume zone, but it usually is rather thin with a couple of volume clusters in it. The reason is that when the price moves so quickly, the big guys, the trading institutions, they don't have enough time to place their huge orders and their huge volumes that they trade with in that quick trend. So that's why the profile is thin, because they don't have the time. The thing that it tells us about the market is that there is a strong and aggressive trend. Either buyers are in control and pushing the price aggressively upwards, or sellers are in control and they are aggressively pushing the price downwards. Simply put, one side of the market is absolutely dominating the market, right? Either buyers or sellers. Now let me do a very quick recap of the basic volume profile shapes before we move on. So we covered the D-shaped profile, which looks like a capital letter D and means balance, balanced market. Then there was the B-shaped profile, which means sellers. Then there's the P-shaped profile, which means buyers. And we have a thin profile, which indicates that there's a strong trend. Alright guys, so I hope you liked the video. If you want to learn more about volume profile trading and get my strategy exactly from A to Z, as well as custom-made indicators that I personally use, then head over to my website, which is traderdale.com. If you click this button, it will bring you to this page. Just scroll down a bit, and in here you can get one of my trading packs. Alright, so that's that. Thanks for watching the video, and I'll see you next time. Until then, happy trading.